Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Thiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast, thenewscasters.com. Real proud to be part of that team as well. But thank you again so much for watching all the social media sites. You got all that stuff going on as well. I have the world's best mayor with me right now. I think you're a good one.
I appreciate it. I try to be.
I really do. For such a small town to get so many things done, and I'm always excited around the holidays and Christmas and all these things that are happening here. And
We've got a lot going on,
Yeah.
but it's not an individual thing. It takes a lot of people.
His
And
name is
yeah.
not the world's best, by the way. His name is Chuck Abels. He's the mayor of Geraldine, Alabama. It's so good to be with you today.
It's good to be with you, and we do have a lot of good help, and at town hall and our community as well. It's a great place, and I got to start out talking about our football team.
No kidding. You need to grab that.
No, it's all right. Friday night, we finished our season, unfortunately, in playoffs, but fourth round semifinals for the state. Finished 12-2. Just a great year. Lost to Madison Academy 48-43. It was a back and forth game.
I bet it was a nail biter, wasn't it?
It was. They scored with 57 seconds left and to go ahead, and but it was back and forth and just a great game. And at halftime, I was actually standing down in the end zone talking to Shannon Allen, the sports reporter from Sam Mountain Reporter, and a couple of guys from Madison Academy had been over to our side to watch the bands, and they started back across. They stopped and they said, "Are y'all affiliated with the school?" And Shannon just said, "He's the mayor." And so they said, I just can't believe the community support that you have here. I mean, our stands were packed, and he said everybody's just been so friendly and nice. He said it's just great to be here. And I think the score was tied at halftime, and so it obviously was a good game. But he said I'm just blown away by the community support and how everything is. He says, "It's always like this." And I said, we're to the semifinals. I said, we've got probably a few people here that don't normally come, but we normally fill it up pretty good on Friday nights for our home games, and they follow for the away games as well. But it was a great turnout, a great game, and but 12-2, and just always have to say so much more than football is being taught by our coaches. Our coaches, Coach Michael Davis, our head coach, and all the assistants. I mean, they're teaching the kids things that they'll need to know the rest of their lives about how to live and how to act. And I couldn't be happier about our athletic program.
Makes me think of Coach Paul Bear Bryant. Somebody got a little unruly. He made sure they paid for it.
Yeah.
so
That's for sure.
and that's absolute needs to be done in this day and time. And I commend him for that.
Yeah. And I mean, Michael's a young guy. I mean, to be a head coach, this is his third year here, and he's 28 probably, something like that. But
You'll wind up losing him to the big ones. We'll be holding on to him as he's going out the door.
I'm hoping that since he went to school here, that'll account for a lot. But but I understand. People have to take care of their families, and but hopefully,
because he turned everything around.
Yeah. I mean, had a great year last year. And but
so what are the skills you think he used to turn it around? Because I mean, it's noticeable.
Well,
even to people who don't watch football, I mean, it's noticeable.
The one thing that has to happen to have a team like that is discipline, and I've told this story a lot about. I always ride with our police chief to the away games, and we follow the bus and make sure there's not any problem. And in fact, a couple of weeks ago there was a problem. One of the buses broke down,
Oh.
and it was quite a fiasco. But I mean, people from the community stopped and said, I can carry 2 or 3 of them, and actually the school resource officer from Cherokee County went by and saw that we were stopped, and he stopped and said, "Want to know where we were going?" And he was going to their game, Cherokee County's game, in the same vicinity, and so he carried a few players, but they called back to school and they brought another bus. But in the meantime, we've gotten all the players from one bus into cars and other things. We took some in our police car, but anyway, on the
I would have been the one in the police car having to explain.
but at the long trips that we go in playoffs, especially, we usually stop at a Cracker Barrel to eat. Get there like 3 o'clock or something like that on traveling for the away games, and of course it's all set up and arranged, and we don't just walk in, say need a table for 70. But the kids are just so courteous, and they know their role, and I was just amazed the first time we did that, and they walk in. Of course, they've got a section already got water set out for everybody, but as soon as we come in, they start bringing the plates out, setting them down, but I mean, nobody reached up and touched any food or anything until everybody got seated, and Coach Davis looked around and saw that everybody was seated, everybody had a plate, and he said, "Okay, Coach Jones, say the blessing for us, and then we'll eat." And I mean, they'd just been sitting there with their hands folded, looking at their food, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah. But
that shows discipline too.
Yeah, it does, and that may not seem like a big deal, but they were following the rules, and they know the importance to follow rules, and it carried over to the football. Very, very few penalties, and they've got this play that they've done every game, and usually it'll be where we really need a first down, just got 3-4 yards to go, and they get up there and then they do a shift, and nearly every time the defense jumps off sides when they do that. And at one of the playoff games, actually did it 4 or 5 times, and it worked every time but one. And this one guy that had jumped off sides like 3 times, the 3rd or 4th time he did it, I mean, he just hit his head like that, and I know, the coaches had seen the film and
get so
and know that, that we're going to do that at some point, especially when it's 3 or 4 yards to go. And but and then we had actually Friday night playing Madison Academy. They did it to us, and I mean, we just sat there, just didn't move, and but just real thankful for our school and our sports teams and coaches that we have, that and it's not just Coach Davis, it's all of them that I mean, they follow his lead, and even in the other sports, and the basketball coaches help with football, and football coaches are there to support the basketball. They don't help with the coaching usually, but most of them. But it's just a great place, and just amazing that the signs all over town.
Yeah,
this week,
you couldn't miss it.
Supporting the Bulldogs, and at the churches and in people's yards and everything, and it was a real good season and good for our community, and I just commend the coaches in the school for the way they conduct themselves, and it's just just a good place to be, and I appreciate it. It's good for our community.
How many of the players are seniors this year?
Well, there's 15,
Ooh.
and that's a lot for a 3A school.
But you got to see some juniors and sophomores kind of tag along and see how they reacted to situations.
Yeah.
So that's going to help.
And we had one 8th grader that started and played the whole time on defense, and wasn't just somebody to stick out there. He had 3 interceptions in one game.
Oh, wow.
Ran one of them back 102 yards for a touchdown, and
he's going to be great.
Yeah,
upcoming
and
years.
he'll probably be our quarterback next year. Our quarterback's graduating, and he has an opportunity to continue to play. University of North Alabama and probably 8 or 10 schools have contacted him about playing.
Yeah, because they're standing there watching, and that's another thing that's really important is to do your best, whatever it is, football, baseball, or cheerleading even.
Yeah.
Everything. You never know when a scout is going to be there watching you just to see how you do things.
And we actually have at least one cheerleader that graduated last year that is got a scholarship and is cheering at Wallace Community College this year, and had a great kicker this year. I know there were scouts from Jacksonville State here a couple of games ago, and our kicker kicked 2 47-yard field goals in one game a couple of weeks ago.
You know, AP Stedham and I, he's our sports guy, we're continuously talking about how sometimes the kicker makes the game.
Yeah.
It's happened a lot.
Yeah.
Well, Mayor, we're going to have to go into a commercial break. Can you believe how fast time flies? We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Y'all hang in there, okay? At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for 2 or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers.
My Towels solved a problem that we've all had with towels. You go into the stores and they feel lotiony and soft, but then you get them home and they wind dry you. That's why I made My Towels. They actually work, they're soft, and they absorb. And now I'm excited to announce 2 brand new lines of My Towels. What makes them the best towels ever is they're now made with 100% long staple Shapir cotton. This is a combed ring spun cotton that makes My Towels even softer and more absorbent than ever. And now you get a 6-piece set for an amazing introductory sale price as low as $29.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get My Towels for only $29.98. Or you can get my designer premium line for just $20 more. Either way, you save 50% now on all My Towels. They actually work. What a concept. This offer won't last long, so please order now.
mypillow.com.
Okay, we're back. My name is Donna, and I am your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show. Thank you so much for being with us. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, just right up the road there in Marshall County. You can also find us on syndicated television. That's Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. By the way, I got word from the Chamber of Commerce in Gadsden. They're going to air the show on Roku every single day, Monday through Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. So you're going to be sitting there in Gadsden as well. But thank you again so much for watching. All the social media sites, I know, television and all that kind of stuff, but I love social media. So you can still find us on all those sites. I think I'm a member of every single one of them. I think all of them. If not, let me know and I'll make sure we're on it. Or Phil will make sure we're on it. I need to mention Phil, by the way. I hardly ever talk, and he's like, I couldn't have a show without him. As a matter of fact, he's on the computer right now putting some shows together, inserting commercials and the intros and outros, all that stuff. I wouldn't have a clue on how to do it.
Me either. But the great thing about social media is you can look at it whenever you want to.
Yeah, just whenever. And all you got to do, if you want to say the world's best mayor, all you got to do is go into your search section and just type in Mayor Chuck Abels and then Donna's Edge, and you'll be able to find him that way. If you want to look back on some of the other shows, because we have a lot of things happening here, right?
We do. We do have a lot of things happening. And, coming up this weekend is our Christmas parade. Real excited about that. We've got our Christmas tree trail going in the park at the walking track where we let people put up Christmas trees all around the track.
We're in for some pretty days.
Yeah.
So you can go around and look at those.
Yeah. And we put up a sign, either, a church or a business or, some people put one up in memory of someone or something like that. Had 30-something last year, and we've already got... My
grandparents who own this farm we're living on right now.
Yeah.
Scott and Sybil Bearden.
Yeah. And we've got several up now, and it's looking good. It's really decorated up nicely, and we're going to finish our parade at the park, and local business here, Frothy Dog, is going to provide hot chocolate, and we'll have Santa there and some other things going on at the park. And so...
Is the Grinch going to be there?
Grinch may be there.
Mm-hmm.
Grinch may be there.
Is.
But Mr. and Miss Santa will be there for sure. And our Grand Marshal this year is a local young guy, Jake Peppers, that he just graduated from high school here 3 years ago and played baseball at Jacksonville State and now has signed with the Chicago White Sox. First Major League Baseball contract from a player at Geraldine, and so we're going to honor him as the Grand Marshal, and because I'm sure he'll bring some more attention to Geraldine, and anything he does is going to be positive. He's just a great young man, and I talk a lot about good parents have good kids, and he's got good parents and 2 sets of good grandparents. One side of the family, grandparents before he passed away, but they were great people, and he's got a set of grandparents living that are good people, and it's not hard to find good people around here. But also, I just got to mention our our United States Representative Robert Adderholt, that's done so much, helped us, with a grant to build a sewer system a few years ago, and got us some money to refurbish former Liberty Bank building that the bank donated to the town, and we're in the process of fixing it up for the Geraldine Clinic. That it's just amazing. I mean, I could talk an hour about Geraldine Clinic and what great people they are and how much they've done for our town, but they need a bigger place, and we're working on that. But
Yeah, flu season's coming up.
Yeah.
They need a bigger place.
but I get an email from Mr. Adderholt at the end of every month, just a newsletter type thing, and he's the current chairman of the House Appropriations Subcommittee on Labor, Health, and Human Services, and he has introduced a proposal to trim nearly 30% of the spending impact in those areas, and he says the cuts are to trim the fat with plenty of money to do the critical jobs, but do it more effectively, and stop some of the regulations that would require schools to allow biological boys to compete against girls in the women's sports. And
if I were a mother of a daughter, I would be for that.
I mean, it's just logical things. I mean, he is very logical, and
He's to be commended.
Yeah, my views line up with his, and he's really working hard too to make adoption easier.
Oh yeah.
I just talked to some people that are in the process of adopting somebody in the state of Texas, and they're just, I mean, it's just unreal how
So
difficult it is.
expensive and time. I mean, by the time you finally get the child, they're 2 years older.
Yeah, and while I'm talking about that, our state representative that represents this area, Jenny Shaver, has just received national recognition for making adoption easier in Alabama. And don't know all the details about that, but I saw something in the paper and on the news about that picture of her in Washington D.C. Getting an award for work that she's done on that.
We're going to have her on the show talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm very appreciative of what she has done to this area, and she and I are on the same wavelength on a lot of things too.
Yeah.
And one of it is about animals and how boy, she loves dogs and cats. As a matter of fact, my dog, he just barks it. We had to keep him tied up. He loves Phil and me and hates everybody else. She is one person he doesn't bark his head off at.
Huh.
They have this thing going. So, but anyway, she is. To keep animals healthy. A lot of folks will, they don't get their dogs and cats spayed and neutered, so she's really all into that too.
And I listened to Mr. Adderholt's speech on the floor in Congress, and one thing he said was schools should be teaching students how to think, not what to think.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't that good?
Yes.
And he just, just so logical about things. I mean, boys don't need to be playing against women. I mean,
No, they don't. Because you guys are stronger than we are.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's just the way it is. I was a runner, used to go to Oxford High School too. And so I was a runner at Oxford High School. And I'll have to tell you, sometimes the boys and girls would compete with each other. The boys always beat us.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, women's lib, whatever you want to say. There's nothing you can do about it. That's just the way it is. And and then also learned a lot about competing. I'm not going to get a trophy just because I come in, second place.
Yeah.
And I came in second place one time. And so what my grandparents said to me was, well, you're going to have to try harder next year. There was none of this, well, you should have got a trophy. Didn't get a trophy for first place because I wasn't first place. But I really like that idea. It teaches ambition.
Yeah.
I think we need ambition.
Yes, absolutely. And speaking of ambition, I always like to talk about the Father's House here at town. It's addiction recovery for women. It's been here 5 years, called the Father's House, and Katina Blanchett that runs that is just, I mean, amazing is not adequate enough to talk about the job that she does with that, and with helpers, of course. And they had their annual banquet Saturday night, and I was honored to get to attend and hear some of the statistics, and it's just amazing. They've been here 5 years, and in that period of time, they've had 267 women come in. They can house 26 at a time in 13 rooms. Not hard to figure out, it's 2 to a room. It's a 12-month program, and out of the 267 that have come in, 29% of them have graduated. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but out of the ones that have graduated, 85% are still clean. The state average is about 2% on addiction programs. And out of the ones that didn't graduate, there's a high percentage of those that are still clean. They just didn't finish the 12-month program. She gave out some numbers on that. I'm not sure about that percentage, but it was close to 50%.
But you know what, Mayor Abels, even if only out of all those girls, only one turned their life around, it's worth it.
But what about 131 kids have got their mama back in 5 years? 131 kids that didn't have their mama at home and in their life, and now and when they leave the program, they have a job, they have a car, they have a place to live, and many of them work in our businesses here in town, fast food, grocery store, screen printing, different things like that. And but it's an amazing program, and we're thankful to have them here.
Those ladies are
Changing
very,
lives.
very creative as well. And so I'm honored to get to go once a month. And we just do a craft of some sort. We did some jewelry. And, well, they were all in it.
They love doing that. At the banquet, Katina was talking about discipline and commitment, and learning to be on time, and learning to show up for your job, and some things like that. And she mentioned that sometimes, they may fail to be there on time or do something. And she said, but after they write Bible verses for 2 hours,
You'd remember being right.
it's not just sentences;
That's
it's Bible verses.
That's the way it used to be in school when I was growing up.
Yeah.
You would learn.
Yeah. But anyway, those ladies love her, and they had gotten up.
There's a respect there.
Yeah,
I saw
they
that.
had come up and made a song that they sang to her at the banquet that she didn't know about, and it was just talking about how much they love her and how much they appreciate her, and
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. If you want to get loved on, go there. I
Yeah.
promise you, they will just love all over you.
and it's not people that have been assigned by court to go there. I mean, people go there because they decided they want to try and turn their lives around and get better. Now,
That's step one, right?
there is some cases where the judge says you can go to prison or you can go to the Father's house, and but it's a 12-month program. But just to hear their testimonies and talk about being able to get back with their kids and their families and have a productive life, and some of them talked about had an addiction for 20 years, or and now been clean for.
They're free now.
They're free. They use
There's
that
nothing
term.
like
Yeah,
freedom.
and
Something.
they tell how
Mayor,
many
we're gonna have
days.
to call it a day.
Wow,
It goes by too fast.
it does.
Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for being on the show again.
Sure.
And you take care. We'll see you shortly.